Welcome to the Deep Dive. This week, we're jumping straight into Italian football.
Absolutely. Lots happening.
We're looking at the games from Saturday, April 19th, Sunday the 20th, and just yesterday, Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025.
And what a mix of results we got. Some teams really putting on a show, others, well, just scraping through.
Yeah, dominant wins, tight victories, some genuine shocks, and those nail-biting draws, too.
Definitely.
So in this deep dive, we want to look past just the scores. What are these games really telling us about the league right now?
Exactly. It's about the tactics, the performances, what it all means going forward. You get a real feel for the league's character from a week like this.
Okay, let's kick off with Saturday, April 19th. First up, Lecce versus Como, 1907. Finished 3-0 to Como. That's pretty decisive.
Oh, definitely. And the reports suggest Como really had a clear plan and executed it almost perfectly.
How so?
Well, they got an early goal, which always helps,
Yeah.
right? Settles the nerves, gives you a platform. But beyond that, it sounds like their midfield was just dominant.
Controlling the engine room.
Precisely. They were winning the ball back constantly, breaking up Lecce's play before it could even start, and just kept the pressure on that Lecce defense. You could almost, feel Lecce struggling to breathe.
So Lecce just couldn't get going. No real chances.
Very few, it seems. They couldn't find any rhythm. And when they did manage to venture forward, the Como defense was described as really solid, well-organized, no easy looks at goal.
And the other two goals.
Not flukes, apparently. They came from good team moves, moments of quality. It suggests Como weren't just lucky, they were genuinely the better side, playing with confidence. Big boost for them.
Okay, sounds like a statement win for Como. Next up, Saturday, Monza versus Napoli. Much closer, this one. 1-0 to Napoli. Feels like more of a tactical chess match.
Absolutely. The descriptions point to a really intense midfield scrap. Both sides trying hard to, assert control there.
Napoli came out on top. Was it their defense?
It seems like that was crucial. Their defensive structure was apparently very effective. They managed to snuff out Monza's attacks, really limit their threat in that final third.
Right. And the goal. When did that come?
Second half. Their main striker, a clinical finish. It's those moments, isn't it? In tight games, you need someone to just take that chance.
Besides everything.
And Monza apparently pushed hard for an equalizer, but Napoli stayed disciplined, defended well, and always looked a threat on the break themselves. So yeah, a really important 3 points for Napoli's ambitions.
I can picture that kind of tense finish. Okay, last game on Saturday. Roma hosting Hellas Verona. Another 1-0. This time to Roma. Sounds like they were made to work for it too.
Yeah, seems so. Reports suggest Verona actually started quite brightly, create some early chances, put Roma under a bit of pressure.
Oh, interesting.
But Roma's defense held firm, weathered that early storm. It points to their resilience, doesn't it? Being able to soak that up.
So Verona couldn't make that early pressure count.
Exactly. Missed opportunities. And then second half, Roma finds the breakthrough. From a set piece, apparently well executed.
The value of practice ground routines.
Absolutely. And even after going behind, Verona kept trying, but Roma managed the game well, stayed organized, and saw it out. A real show of grinding out a win when maybe not at their absolute best.
Right, some gritty wins on Saturday then. Let's move to Sunday, April 20th, kicking off with Empoli versus Venezia. A 2-2 draw. Now this sounds like entertainment.
Oh, it's described as exactly that. A proper thriller, end-to-end stuff, loads of attacking intent, and real resilience from both teams.
What was the pattern of the game?
Empoli got their noses in front early. Good finish. But Venezia hit back pretty quickly. A swift counterattack goal showed their pace.
No time wasted then.
Not a bit. Then Empoli edged ahead again, second half, this time from a set piece. So dangerous from dead balls.
But Venezia weren't done.
Not at all. They came back again, leveled it up with apparently a stunning long-range strike. Real quality. And the game just kept going, chances at both ends, right until the whistle. A draw, but probably one both teams could take positives from, showing they can really compete.
Yeah, sounds like a great watch. Okay, next. Wow, Bologna 1, Inter 0. That's a big one. Inter's usually so potent offensively. How did Bologna manage that?
This seems like a tactical masterclass from Bologna. The reports really highlight their defensive discipline, their organization.
So they just suffocated Inter.
Pretty much. Inter, for all their attacking talent, just couldn't find the gaps, couldn't break them down. Bologna were described as really compact, very hard to play through.
And the decisive moment. The goal.
Came in the second half. Bologna apparently pounced on a rare defensive mistake from Inter. It just shows, even the top teams switch off for a second and bang.
Costly.
Hugely. Inter pushed, obviously, tried to get back into it, but Bologna just stayed resolute, managed the final stages brilliantly, and held on. That's a massive, massive win for Bologna's confidence.
Yeah, sends a message, that result. Okay, final game on Sunday. Milan versus Atalanta, another tight one, 1-0 again, but this time Atalanta taking the points. Seems Sunday was the day for close battles.
It really was. Very competitive feel. This one, again, characterized by those intense midfield tussles. Both teams fighting for every inch.
And Atalanta's defense stood out again, like Napoli's earlier.
Seems that way. Very effective in stifling Milan's attack, limiting their clear sights of goal. Very disciplined performance without the ball.
And the difference maker.
Again, a second half goal, a clinical finish from Atalanta's forward. That proved enough. Milan tried to respond naturally, but Atalanta held firm, used the counterattack threat, and secured a really crucial win for their own lead position.
Okay, intense stuff. Right, that takes us to the games from just yesterday, Tuesday the 22nd. First match, Torino against Udinese. 200 to Torino. Sounds a bit more comfortable.
Yes, this one reads like a more controlled performance from Torino. Solid, tactically sound, and efficient in attack.
How did it unfold?
They apparently started strongly, took control early, got the first goal through a nice team move, good finish.
And Udinese, any response?
It seems they struggled to really get into the game, couldn't create much. Torino's defense is described as rock solid, neutralizing any threats. Then Torino added a second in the second half to seal it. Good professional win for them, helps them climb the table.
Makes sense. Next up, Cagliari versus Fiorentina. Back to the tight scorelines, 2-1 to Fiorentina. This week just keeps delivering close contests.
It really does. And again, the story seems to be about tactical battles, particularly in midfield. Fiorentina's defense, again, getting praise for how they managed Cagliari's attack.
So keeping things tight at the back was key.
It appears so. Very compact, denying space. Fiorentina then got the goals they needed, the winner coming in the second half from their key forward. Clinical again.
And Cagliari pushed back.
They did. Fought hard. But Fiorentina showed good game management, stayed disciplined defensively, and saw it through. Another valuable away win for them.
Right. Now for probably the result that made everyone sit up, Parma Calcio 1, Juventus Torino 0.
Yeah.
Wow. That's huge.
Absolutely enormous. This is the kind of result that makes headlines everywhere. A real testament to Parma's game plan, their discipline, their defensive grit.
Juventus just couldn't break them down.
That's the story.
Yeah.
For all their attacking firepower, Juventus apparently struggled massively against Parma's incredibly well-organized defense. Just couldn't find a way through.
So how did Parma nick it?
Second half again. Capitalized on a defensive error from Juventus. Pounced on the mistake, took the chance. Clinical.
Incredible. And use reaction.
They threw everything at Parma in the remaining time, you'd imagine. But Parma just held firm. Resolute defending, smart game management, holding on for a truly famous victory. What a boost that must be.
Unbelievable result. Okay, finally, to wrap up the action. Genoa versus Lazio Roma. Lazio finishing the round of games with a 2-0 win. Sounds like they got the job done efficiently.
Yeah, seems like a professional performance. Lazio showcased that tactical discipline and defensive solidity we've seen from other winners this week.
Did Genoa threaten early?
Reports suggest they started with some intent, created a couple of early chances maybe, but Lazio's defense stood firm, denied them that breakthrough.
And Lazio's goals, how did they come about?
First one, second half from a set piece, again showing how important those can be. Well executed. Genoa tried to respond, but Lazio stayed organized, controlled the game, and then added a second goal late on to make sure. Solid, controlled win.
What a packed few days of football. So, looking back across all those matches, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, what are the big takeaways for you? What themes really stand out?
Well, you definitely see the impact of strong tactical organization, especially defensively. Look at Bologna against Inter, Parma against Juve. Those weren't flukes. They were built on solid defensive structures.
Right, structure trumping maybe individual talent on the day.
Sometimes, yeah. And resilience, too. Teams like Napoli, Roma grinding out those 1-0 wins, that takes mental strength. And just the sheer number of close games, the 1-0s, the 2-1s, it tells you the league is, pretty competitive right now. No easy matches.
It really does feel that way. The gap isn't maybe as big as some might think between certain teams. And what does all this mean looking forward?
Well, psychologically, these results are massive. Those unexpected wins for Bologna and Parma. Huge confidence injection. For Inter and Juventus, it forces a rethink, maybe highlights some vulnerabilities.
Yeah, causes some soul searching.
Definitely. And obviously, it all shakes up the league table. Points gained, points dropped. It all feeds into the race for Europe, the relegation battle. Every result matters.
So as we wrap this deep dive up, What's the lingering question? What should we, and you, the listener, be thinking about?
I think the big question is, are these results, particularly the upsets, just isolated incidents? Or are they hinting at maybe a broader shift? Are we seeing tactically smart, defensively solid teams becoming genuine challengers more consistently? And, what are the long-term effects going to be? How will teams adapt? It'll be fascinating to watch unfold.